Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
I'm husband.
And I'm wife.
Together, we're reading the Bible for the very first time.
We grew up without religion and wanted to know what all the fuss was about.
Well, what have we learned so far?
That God is a dick, and apparently some people believe in talking donkeys.
We're not trying to pass ourselves off as experts.
Nope, we're just reading the Bible for the first time and giving our first take reaction.
If you'd like to join us in this venture, you might consider starting at episode 1.
Otherwise, jump in wherever you like.
All right, let's go read the Bible.
Yeah, let's get to it.
Hey wife, did you know that Anchor is sponsoring our show?
Really? Don't we use Anchor to distribute our podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts?
Yeah, and we are on just about every other platform available as well, thanks to them.
Why do we use Anchor as our podcasting service?
Well, they make editing and distributing our show a breeze.
What if one of our listeners wants to start their own podcast?
Then they should head over to anchor.fm or download the app to get started.
Awesome! You guys should go do that right now! Husband!
Wife!
Do you know what today is?
It's Q&A.
Q&A Saturday!
Yeah, that.
It's Q&A Saturday.
Yep, it
Why
sure is.
did you say today is...
I thought you were gonna finish it up. I was gonna let you finish that up.
Q&A.
Doing that, start the song right away. I didn't really, lead you into it very well. I guess.
No, you did it wrong.
I'm sorry.
You did it wrong.
Yeah,
Let's
but
try it
I need
again.
some credit though. It's my birthday.
It is your birthday.
Not when you guys hear this, but the night that we're recording it. So
Right.
Yeah.
But let's try it again.
Okay.
So, do you know what today is?
Today is what is today?
Today is Q&A Saturday.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And today we are queuing. What the fuck is up with all those places where
The sentences didn't end.
Yeah, they just didn't
Right?
end,
Yeah.
and it always had to do with it's written in something.
But they did say something one time.
One time.
Yeah.
Yep. And so we're going to talk about what those somethings are.
Okay. Is it something?
It is something.
It is something. Wow. Interesting. Okay. And is that all we're talking about today?
That's all we're going to talk about today because a lot of else stuff got into Chronicles, and I don't want to do that yet.
Okay.
So
All right.
I averted my eyes and was like, nope.
Okay. So let's go find out what this shit was written in.
Let's do it.
Hey wife, do you like coffee in the morning?
I sure do, husband. Morning, noon, night. Which reminds me, I need to add that to our grocery list because we're running low.
Wait, before you do that, check out the website ungodlybrew.com where you can purchase a pound of your favorite flavor of coffee.
What if I want more than 1 pound?
Either order a larger amount or better yet, get 10% off by setting up a subscription for every 2 weeks or a month or whatever works for you.
Did you set up something special for our listeners?
You know I did. Exclusive for our listeners, get an additional 10% off subscriptions by entering the code SACRILEGIOUSCOFFEE at checkout.
That's a hellishly good deal.
Ungodly Brew is hellishly good coffee.
Okay, first I have to say that First Kings and Second Kings, much like First and Second Samuel, used to be one book before it was split into two for length.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So I don't think we knew that, but now we do.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have assumed it.
Sure.
I think Chronicles is much the same way, but I'm not into Chronicles yet, so...
Someone was like, this chapter's too long.
It's too long.
Or this book's too long or whatever.
Too long.
Just make it 2.
Cost of rent is too damn high! So...
I mean, it's true.
It is true. It's always been true, but it's
Right.
really true.
It's really true now.
Okay, so the thing that we kept running into that wasn't listed
Yeah.
is called the Chronicles of the Kings,
Okay.
which is a book. Okay?
Is it an actual book?
It's an actual missing, lost book.
Oh, sure. Of course it's fucking missing.
No. This gets so involved.
okay, all
Okay?
right, yeah.
So I'm going to read you this sentence. Okay?
Yeah.
The Book of Kings refers to the Chronicles of the Kings, but it is not referring to the Book of Chronicles.
Okay.
And then in Chronicles, it references a Book of Kings, but it's not talking about the Book of Kings.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
So Kings talks about Chronicles, and Chronicles talks about Kings.
Jesus,
but
this
they're
isn't
not
confusing
talking
at
about
all.
each other.
What the fuck?
Do you understand?
I think I understand, but damn, that's like really fucking confusing.
One of them is about the history of the kings of Judah. and the other is the history of the kings of Israel.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And they did actually exist. The book of the Kings.
You mean the books actually existed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotcha. Yeah, they actually existed.
Okay.
They are just lost to time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But the book of the Kings is parallel to the book of the Chronicles of the Kings.
Okay.
Okay. It is referenced 45 times in the King James Bible, with a 46th reference to it in the book of Ezra.
Okay.
Which is one of those books that is in Catholic Bibles, but not Hebrew Bibles.
Gotcha.
Okay?
Yeah.
And it was either not included in the corpus of the biblical text, or it was removed at some stage.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So that's why it's lost to us.
Okay.
Okay?
Got it.
So it's referenced. These guys back then wrote about it.
I got it. Okay.
And what I forgot is that First and Second Kings is the last of the
Mystic history.
Thank you. History.
Yeah.
So once we finish this, we're at the end of that period of those people putting things together.
The King's books are the end of the Deuteronomistic history?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Along with those lost books that are referenced.
Interesting. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough.
And these are one of several non-canonical books referenced in the Bible. So there's a bunch more.
They're probably not lost. I bet they're in the fucking Vatican archives somewhere.
They probably are, but it doesn't really matter because we don't know.
Right.
You know, and at this point, they wouldn't be accepted.
True.
This book is listed as one of the top 10 most important ancient documents lost to history by the Smithsonian Magazine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
There's a really interesting article on it that I read, and it was so cool. And there was stuff in there that I had never heard of.
Huh.
And highly recommend everybody give that a read.
Yeah. That's really neat.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about each of those two books.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So the one that's about Judah is the Chronicles of the Kings of Judah, and it gives a more detailed account of the reigns of the kings of the ancient kingdom of Judah that appears in the Hebrew Bible.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Judah talks about Judah.
Right.
Kings of Judah.
Yeah.
It is not believed to be the books of Chronicles, you know, because it talks about Chronicles, but it couldn't be what we know of as the book of Chronicles, because it's implied by the writer of the books of First and Second Kings that it could be used as a significant supplement to the writings contained in that book itself.
Got it.
And the books of Chronicles, like First and Second Chronicles, it doesn't add any of that information that it says it would.
Right.
So clearly they're referring to some other book.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there is also a discrepancy in the dates of certain events, which I don't hold that as proof of anything because they've done that fucked up thing before.
Right, right.
This text is sometimes called the Book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Judah, or the Book of the Annals of the Kings of Judah.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now, we're going to talk about the one with Israel, and it is very similar.
Okay.
The Chronicles of the Kings of Israel gives a more detailed account of the reigns of the kings of the ancient kingdom of Israel than that presented in the Hebrew Bible, and may have been the source from which parts of the biblical account were drawn.
Huh.
So it didn't just reference this one, it also utilized it for information.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That sounds really important.
Israel one. Yeah.
Right?
Both of these are pretty fucking important.
Yeah.
The book was likely compiled by or derived from the kings of Israel's own scribes, and is likely the source for the basic facts presented in the Bible.
Interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The text, this one is sometimes called the Book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Israel, or the Book of the Annals of the Kings of Israel.
Got it.
So just like the other one. Okay?
Yeah.
So Kings talks about Chronicles, Chronicles talks about Kings, but neither are talking about the Kings and Chronicles as we know them in the Bible.
Got it.
Isn't that interesting?
It really is.
Yeah. So here's another lost book. Okay?
Wow, another one.
That talks about Judah and Israel.
Okay.
Another lost book dealing with the reigns of the kings of ancient Israel is the Book of the Kings of Judah and Israel.
Okay.
This book is referred to in Second Chronicles, so
Okay.
we're not there yet.
Right.
And may be the same as the other two Chronicles named in Kings. So the ones that we've already read so far.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
The missing things.
Words. Yeah.
Yeah, the missing words. So references to the Chronicles appear in the Book of Kings and imply that the description of the reign of the kings of Israel presented in the Bible is only a brief summary. So what we're reading seems tedious and stupid.
Yeah.
But this other book is supposed to go into great detail.
Got it.
Okay?
Okay.
So we're missing out.
Right.
Because what we're reading is just the brief summary.
I gotcha.
A fuller account would be found in these missing chronicles.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
And as to why these titles of these books are missing in the thing that we're reading,
yeah,
I could not find any explanation for that.
Okay. They shouldn't be missing, though.
They shouldn't be missing.
So it's just the place where we're reading that is not correct.
I'm wondering if maybe they meant to put links in and neglected to do so and forgot that there were words that were supposed to be there.
Okay. All right.
But all the words that are missing are these books.
Got it. Okay.
And I went through and made sure that I wasn't just,
right. Losing it. And,
right. Like what? So I had to go through like 2 different translations to make sure that every time I had missing words in what I'm reading, that it was one of these books.
Okay. All right.
So there are tons of missing books. If you go to Wikipedia, you can actually pull up a wiki of a list of books missing from the Bible.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And some
like
of
books
them,
that are referenced throughout the Bible that are not anywhere to be found.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes, that very likely existed and that were probably supposed to be part of this.
Right.
And for whatever reason, Kings later on removed them, or they got untranslated out or something.
That's kind of sad. Know. Like, I mean, the Bible is very it's got an overarching view of what they want us to know, right?
Right.
But it would be neat to be able to source it against these other compendiums of information just to see how everything matches up, what they're taking from it. Like, it would offer such a richer view of what we're reading if we could access those things. That would be so cool.
But we can also get a view of what people were thinking at the time by thinking about what is missing.
Right.
You know what I mean? That tells us something too. Kind of like sometimes silence speaks 1,000 words.
Sure. Yeah.
So there's that as well. But this just goes to the fact that whenever we're reading this, we're reading what they said happened at the time.
Right.
What they want us to believe happened at the time.
Yep.
And then what was happening at the time they were writing it.
Right.
And those are all 3 different things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so when we see these books missing, that just adds to that whole ball of what the fuckism.
Right, right.
Which I just found that so interesting.
Yeah, no, that's really cool.
Right?
Yeah. Was that the gist of what we had to go over today?
That's the gist. Kings talks about Chronicles, Chronicles talks about Kings, and neither of them are the Kings and Chronicles that we know in our Bible.
And the moral of the story, kids, is don't burn books.
Don't burn books, y'all.
Because you never know, in 1,000 years, somebody might be missing out on something.
Right?
So just, keep all the books.
Keep all the books.
All of them.
I mean, we keep all the books.
Whoa, Jesus Christ. Yeah, we do. We have so many fucking books.
It's kind of sad how many books we have, honestly.
We love books, though.
We do love
books.
Our
are
books.
Awesome.
Books are
You know what? We love old books, too.
Oh, how?
Old books are awesome.
Old books are awesome.
Especially Isaac Asimov books.
Yes.
I'm just saying, before we ever got into the Bible thing, we were already collecting hardbound editions of old Isaac Asimov books.
Yep.
So, the fact that we were able to find for our book club thing that we're doing on Sundays, the hardbound version of the Bible thing that he wrote was just like icing on the goddamn cake.
Right.
It was amazing.
I'm really happy. That was a good find.
Right?
You did good, babe. You did it good.
Books are awesome.
Books are good.
Yep. All right. Well, that's all we had today for our
Q&A.
Yeah.
Q&A Saturday. I fucked that one up.
You really did. Yeah, I pointed at you and everything.
I know.
You
sorry.
should have been right on that.
Apologies.
Just a quick note here, since we're kind of having a shorter episode, but just to remind everybody, we will be at the Kentucky Free Thought Convention on Saturday, September 3rd.
Isn't it 23rd?
Nope, it's the third.
The third, you guys. Don't listen to me. I don't know numbers.
And we will have a table there for Sacrilegious Discourse and ungodlybrew.com.
Yep.
And if you are there and you mention that you heard about this on our podcast, we, as long as we still have supplies, will have a free sample of Ungodly Brew coffee for you.
Yeah.
So please go there and get tickets from their website. Just look up Kentucky Free Thought Convention. And
I think it's $10 online or $15 at the door.
Yep, you got it. So yeah, get in there, come see us, see some great speakers, and we'll all have a good old time.
Good old time.
All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow for the...
Oh, what is tomorrow?
What is tomorrow?
Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday.
And that's when we do Sacrilegious Book Club.
Right.
And our weekly replay.
Definitely. All right. We'll see you guys then.
Bye.
Hey, wife. I guess that's the end?
But husband, that's just sad.
It doesn't have to be. We are on lots of social media platforms like Twitter. Our handle there is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh my God. Stop doing that. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. There's a link to all of our social media sites at our website.
Ooh, we have a website?
Yeah, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, where you can also find a link to our merch shop.
We have a merch shop?
Yep, we have podcast-themed clothing, mugs, notebooks, and more, as well as an atheist and science-themed products.
Wow, our fans should really go check that out right now.
Definitely. They can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. But before they do that, we could really use some help.
Oh yeah? With what?
Well, it's not free running the podcast, and we need some financial support in order to get better equipment, which will free up time so we can concentrate on our podcast and our fans.
Okay, so what should they do?
Head over to patreon.com/sacrilegious discourse and sign up as a contributor on our podcast. Supporters there receive additional bi-weekly episodes that we record just for our Patreon members for as little as $2 a month.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Like and subscribe. Leave an Apple review. Join us on Twitter. Support us on Patreon. That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.